What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Jack Ramsays, Danny Marang, Brandon Sprague. I know it's been a while. We took our normal late August, early September hiatus because I was not going to do this, especially without a Damian Lillard trade in the books, because this is going to be a season, I think, that we're all going to want to take piecemeal, a little bit at a time.
No Jeremy Grant trade.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's everybody's just kind of stone cold chilling and hanging out, and this is going to be a different show for sure.
Yes.
As always, I'm joined. Well, I shouldn't say as always. I'm joined by Brandon Sprague, and we wanted to do this show because there's going to be, for this year at least, going to be some show changes, and I'll just let Brandon tell you.
Yeah, so I quite enjoyed. I love when you send out anything on Twitter and people love to play the guessing game. Like I saw somebody's like Joe Cronin's on the show, or Jeremy Grant's on the show, or it's Tease, or TV deal, or TV news, and
we do have guests coming. Like that's an actual thing, but
it's still too early for that because camp hasn't gotten underway. Like Jeremy's in LA playing with Dallas Maverick players right now, so it's like guys are here, guys are still off doing their own thing. No, this is it's weird because you and I remember our phone call when we were going to do this, and we had known each other through social media. That was how we got to know each other, and you were on Outsiders and I've been at the Fan forever, and we always would tweet ball, and
we didn't ever actually talk face to face until I came in and hosted with you in the morning.
Yeah, that was the
first time we'd ever actually talked for any period of time.
Yeah, and I'll never forget that phone call of like, "Hey, man, would you be interested in this?" And what was funny is at the time, I never told you this. I remember having moments just before you had called where I'm not a big Sprague guy or anything, but I had basically in the universe been like, man, how come I don't do a Blazer podcast? I love the Blazers. I love watching basketball. And you called maybe 3 weeks later. That was how weird all of that was when it lined up. Mm-hmm. And I lived in a different house. And so I'm in, let's do it. It was so exciting. I was doing a show in my staircase closet. Shout out Mike Richmond. He also does his in a staircase closet. It was a Harry Potter bedroom, basically. Mm-hmm. And it was more fun than I could have imagined.
Now look at you with a whole bookshelf behind you.
Well, I'm in a big ass bedroom right now. There's way more out here than it looks even on the camera. But as the years have gone by, my kids have gotten older. I have a 12 and an 8-year-old. Mm-hmm. So that's a 7th grader and a 3rd grader. They're delightful girls. They're also very active. And with that comes more responsibility and more commitments and schedules.
The things you said you'd never do.
Things I didn't think I would ever. Hey, we need a coach. Nobody will coach. And I'm like, yeah, somebody will coach. And another week, we still need a coach. And I'm like, all right, somebody's going to coach. And then it's like, hey, we still don't have a coach. And it's like, fine. You want me to coach soccer? I'll coach soccer. Call me Football Sprague. And I don't know anything about soccer, but I'm coaching soccer. Needless to say, I'll stop delaying. I'm not going to be able to do the podcast. And that is a very tough thing for me to not do. I have quite enjoyed it. I think if you were to evaluate the Jack Ramsays eras, you could probably see for the last 8-9 months that it just, from my schedule and what was going on with my kids, and Danny's a night owl who works at noon and I'm a 4 a.m. wake up guy. We kind of got on much different. Well, now my camera's moving. That's
you moved your hand. There you go.
I know. But we got on different schedules and now it just keeps moving up, which makes this even more delightful. But
tilt it down. Just grab it and tilt it down.
Yeah, I just got it. Yeah, I'll just bump it. Well, now it's just going to do the thing on me again. This was great. I'm glad I timed all this really well. This actually just sums it all up for me, to be honest with you. How do I get this thing down, man?
You got to pull up the control panel that goes with it.
Damn it. I don't want to do that.
And then turn the unlock off.
Well,
there we go.
Anyways, It's become harder and harder as the year has gone on, and this year is probably the hardest. And so I had to make a really difficult decision. A fun fact, and I know I'm kind of rambling here. Before I called you, I was legitimately like nervous, anxious, feeling very uneasy. Legitimately. I know
Oh,
you're laughing, and I understand why you're laughing. It sounds ridiculous.
because of the conversation that we had.
Well, I know. And so I had Bluetooth headphones. I was walking around a park up the road from my house, and I did a practice phone call because I didn't. Well, because dude, this was not an easy thing for me to
Oh, I
do.
know.
It's a tough phone, and I wasn't worried that like what your reaction. That's not what it was about. Because you and I, dude, we have a lot of fun doing this. We shoot the S all the time. We talk a lot before the pods,
Which is
and,
why
and
there's a reason why I don't give you guys times for when we're going to start, because Brandon and I say we're going to talk for 5 minutes, and it could be 5 minutes to an hour.
it's usually like 40 minutes. Yeah,
Because there's a lot that we will go over,
yeah.
both in life and in basketball. So, look, that's the reason why I don't give you times. It's because I don't know how long we're going to talk for before we get going.
I think after the first season, we kept showing up so late that like we're like, hey, let's just not do the time.
Yeah, but we're just not putting times on this.
People famously would tweet, "Thought you said 6:30, guys. Where
like,
you at?" It'd be like 6:45. Like, hey, we're live. Here we are. But we had a really good talk. I thought. I always knew you would be cool with it. This has been a big part of my life for 3 years, man, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm not dying. I'm not going anywhere. I just can't do the pod. I can't commit. It's not fair to you. And to be honest with you, I think the audience is going to get something that they've had, but not had as much in the last season. I know you did a couple of them, but like you go to the games. So you have, you used to be like, oh, I'm going to do a post game pod. Like, dude, don't ask, just do. And like now, all of that is going to exist, and I'll be asleep when you do them, but I'll watch them in the mornings before I go onto the show. And so it pains me to say this, but I have too many obligations right now with my kids, and the season's coming. And, if it's not soccer, cross country, horse lessons, taekwondo, it's then going to be basketball twice, and then more basketball, and horse lessons don't, it's just like, it's kind of a never ending thing. And so, it is with a great sadness, I would say, that I have to step away from something that you and I think have worked really hard to build up, and that it's been really cool to hear from people. It's the most random times at the most random places, and to have people come up and like, dude, love the pod. That means more than I can even say thank you to. So it's a very tough decision, but yeah, I think right now it's really hard.
No, and I've loved doing this with you, man. It's been a blast. And then you aren't dying. You aren't going away. You will make an appearance or two.
Yeah. We're still coworkers.
Yes, and we will still talk very regularly. And when there's a noon game or a 1 p.m. game, well, maybe we'll have you come on as the schedule permits. I
love the random Saturday, Sunday noon games.
Those
like,
matinees.
Hey, we're Toronto this afternoon.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
okay,
perfect. The show is not over, guys. So I will say that the show is going to go. It will continue on. I will bring some guests in periodically, but it will be mostly me for the time being. I wish I had somebody that I had kind of like brought along, a couple shows here or there that I could kind of trust to step in, but I don't know. It's the Blazers coverage is in kind of a weird space right now. The only people who are at literally everything are Hyken and I.
Yeah.
So I would love to say like, yeah, I want to bring in this young person and help them get started, but like y'all aren't out there right now. and I understand it, because it's like there aren't a ton of people that want to cover this team or have the capacity to cover a bad team, because there's not a ton in it. So I don't hold that begrudgingly, but I might start working some folks that want to that opportunity. giving those chances and opportunities because I want to make that accessible and open to folks. But it will be me. Somebody saying Garcia Gunderson. Look, Gundy's my guy. So is Hyken. Gundy doesn't have the time either. Gundy's
he travels a lot. His work is crazy busy.
Yeah, and he's a friend of ours. I'm in a group chat with Gundy and literally talking every day. And I told him and Hyken that this was coming, and they were both like, yeah, I'd love to. And I'm like, I didn't even bother to ask because I know what's going on with you guys. So like, Sean, you're at everything. You're doing your own thing. And then Eric, you're busy. So that's just kind of the way that it goes. But if somebody pops along, you might see a stray Joe Simons. You might see a stray Shane Brendan pop up. You might see some old heads pop up here, there, around occasionally. But you will see my big old fat head a lot more. This week I just I'm putting together the first couple of written and video pieces on the season on Shaden and Scoot on what they can do to improve in year 3 and year 2. Those will be up on the Patreon relatively soon. I think I want to do some 10-minute videos along each side of those. Just cranking out some more content and really getting ready to go into the season because media day is 2.5 weeks away.
It's crazy.
For those that aren't aware, it is the 11th, 9/11 obviously today.
Yeah.
But media day is the 30th. So 2.5 weeks.
So that thing is rapidly approaching. I think the other part too, one of the things about feeling bad about not being able to do this the way that I cannot keep this camera straight.
I'm telling you, you have to open the control panel to get it stopped.
Dude, I just don't want to do that. So I'm just holding it out here. My arm's going to die. But one of the things that I had kind of made myself feel a little better about, because again, being sad about leaving was, and this is kind of a compliment to you. You've gone from annoying Twitter troll guy who's never wrong about anything.
I mean, I'm still that guy.
Oh yeah, we know. But you have really carved out a niche for yourself of what your coverage is, and people can find that at your Patreon, your breakdowns, your draft breakdowns, your video breakdowns, your player thoughts. And I think that's the cool part, I think, for you, is maybe you didn't expect it, or maybe you just missed it so much, but you've really gone into the writing as much too. So you're not only just doing the YouTube stuff, you're also doing a lot of the writing. And so you've kind of just morphed into a natural beat writer. You're 100% right. I don't really understand the local coverage of the team. It's very hit and miss with a very obvious website. There was been 0 pieces written about this team this summer from a website that I would just say the expectation should be a minimum of 2 a week. It's pretty easy, I would imagine, but it hasn't happened. So coverage has been very bare outside of a couple of people, and you're one of those people. You're there for everything. And so it's kind of also right in the way that timing is weird, but it makes sense because you've kind of become a beat guy who's going to every game and practice, and your time is just limited as well. And so I know you're dialing up a lot of Patreon things, and you'll still have the YouTube going as well, obviously. But it's what you've done in your career too. It's I've stayed in the media, but now I'm morphing into media dad.
Yes.
And you've gotten into the media, and it's morphing into radio host, beat writer. Yeah.
Yeah, which is, it's always funny when out of town media come to town, and I show up, wearing athleisure and a hat and a hoodie, maybe some slides.
No suit and tie. How dare you?
No. And they all give me crap. I'm like, look, man, I'm just leaning into the dirtbag radio guy. I have an excuse here. You guys are traveling with a team. I can show up however I want because nobody expects anything from me because I'm the radio guy. Being down at Summer League, there was 3 other radio credentials.
For the whole Summer League?
Oh, dude, there's one guy from Atlanta, and I think there's outside of the NBA, the Sirius radio NBA guys. You know what I mean? Like outside of like the national radio guys, like local market radio. No, there was nobody down there, man. Like, it's like, I don't know if I'll say I'm like a last of a dying breed. Like, I think I am the dying breed.
So, I too, we talk all the time about the industry and the business stuff, and we talked a little bit about today about some stuff. But the other thing I would tell you, just as a consumer or listener of the product, man, I'm not saying you're not naming a co-host or anything here, but like I will piggyback on one thing. You and Sean are very informative. And so like you guys joining up to do like a pod is just something that I think it fills a void. Not like every day or anything, but like you guys doing a collective pod, like the Beat Pod version of whatever when you can. I as a listener and consumer of the content, like I just think you guys are there every day. You have, hey, remember this? Oh yeah, we were talking to this guy and that guy, and this is the general reaction to this and that. So I know you're going to do great things with it, but that's also something like I'm kind of looking forward to is maybe something like that as well.
A couple people in the chat are just kind of showing up now, and we're still doing a podcast, guys. Oh, I should say I'm still doing a podcast. Brandon is indeed leaving. He's not dying. It's not like a big breakup. This isn't the Beatles or.
I don't hate Danny. Don't let any of that start, please.
This was when it was funny. I'm just gonna say this at the phone call when you called. I kind of laughed at him because he's like, man, I don't know what to do. I feel bad. I'm just like, dude, go. It's okay. Like it's okay. Like it's, how did Brandon get fired? Brandon literally called me as I was walking into the grocery store. And,
the funniest thing was somebody I that's not in the media that I talked to about stuff. I reached out, hey, how'd it go? And I was like, it went too well. I think he wanted me gone. I think he was excited.
I don't want that because I hate you know this. Like we've talked about this. I hate the sound of my own voice. I know it sounds crazy.
I don't know if anybody believes you.
I know. Trust me. Editing podcasts.
Bring your wife in here. Let's see if she believes that.
Yeah, no kidding. Right. But like editing the show and doing that stuff, I'm like, I will use your voice to edit. Like my stuff, I'm like, la, 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 because I don't want to hear myself. And now I have to hear nothing but myself.
Yeah.
But no, the podcast will go on. They'll probably be shorter in duration, but more frequent. Whether or not I do post games every night will probably likely depend on how shitty the season goes and how late I get home.
That's the thing. You get them sometimes midnight, sometimes 1 a.m.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I say that probably the average finishing time is about 12:20. So it always depends. I did one last year where I was still like delirious. It was like I watched it back. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that show.
Well, I think I've said this before. I probably have. It's been a few years. People, I don't know if they realize it or maybe they experience it as a fan, but you go to these games and like you're not playing. But I remember going to those games more regularly when I wasn't in the morning, and like I would get home and like I couldn't do. I was just awake for like an hour.
You can't. No, I can't. Dusty knows this. I don't go to bed during the season until 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you're charged.
No, you
can't control it.
No, when I was doing Outsiders, it's the same thing. Like you know, this doing radio. Like there's a level of energy that has to come with everything, and you can't just like turn that off. That and the fact that I house probably like 4 of these a day. So.
Those things will keep you going, man.
Yeah, among other things. When I put out the tweet that we were going to have a special show tonight, everyone guessed about what was going to happen. And none of you were right.
Well, we couldn't even hint at what it was,
no,
you know?
We were texting back and forth the day. Like, I feel kind of bad that they're guessing and everything is wrong.
And I said, yeah, but it's really funny when they get on and they're like, oh, I wonder what TV deal or what Joe Cronin interview. It's like, Sprague's leaving. Oh, man, that's it?
Yeah, it's like womp, 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 womp. But there will be, like, I will say I have a very strong hold and grasp on what the TV deal is going to be. And it will be coming relatively soon. You all will enjoy it. You all will enjoy it.
Somebody just said, can you blink twice if this and this? And I sent like a GIF and it was like blinking 80 times.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. It was great. You guys will enjoy it. I will be.
I'm looking forward to it.
I will be shocked if you guys aren't excited about the deal. So I would say I know you have to earn the organization has to kind of earn that trust back over the TV deals and stuff like that. I think this will go a very, 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 very long way in doing that. But I'll say it'll be a couple weeks. But news is coming. So, on that front, on the basketball front, like I said, media day is the 30th. I am efforting a couple of different players. I'm hesitant to put this out there, but I'll do it. And if I get stepped on, I get stepped on. Back-to-back national champion head coach of the Connecticut Huskies, Dan Hurley, will join Danny and Dusty in a couple of weeks. So that'll be a cool one.
That'll be great to talk Klingon.
Yeah, so we'll have him on.
You have a date or no yet?
We do, but I don't want to put that out there just
not firm yet. Okay.
Just because, yeah. But
it's Dan Hurley. We get it. Yeah,
it's the literal top coach in college basketball. Right. So,
yes.
that'll be something cool. I'm still talking to a couple players about coming on before the season starts. October 11th, I will be up in Seattle for the preseason game against the LA Clippers.
By the way, I went to a Storm game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, didn't I text you about the WNBA? Like you guys were heading up there for that then?
It was the day, you and I had texted about you had sent me a text about the WNBA, and it was literally I was getting in the car to go to the Seattle game. And I'll tell you, I don't want to hate on Armada. I love the Rose Garden. Climate Pledge.
Dude, they dumped so much money into that place, dude. It's so nice. It's tiny, but it's nice.
But when they get the WNBA,
it's going to be
loud.
Awesome.
But the NBA one, oh my, because they're going to open some of it up. Oh my word.
The only way you'd know that place is old is on the outside and when you get into the underbelly. Like you can see like this is an old ass building, but like in the bowl, no,
it's weird because you walk in and you don't even almost feel like you're in an arena, and then you take a turn and you're down an escalator. It's like boom, arena, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's very quick. Have Dirt become the new co-host, and him and Danny can just argue about the competency of the front office every show. Dirt knows where I stand on a lot of things.
No, Dirt loves poking the bear.
Oh, I know. It's fun.
Poking the bear.
And he's got ducks to deal with. So
yes. Well, he's got bees to deal with this weekend, by the way.
That's true. Hey-o.
Hey-o.
It's the I don't even say it's the one time a year I'm a Beav fan. I'm a quasi Beav fan. I'm Beav adjacent.
You're wearing a USC hat. We know you're a Beav fan this weekend, which is odd because we always beat you guys.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Like I went to Beaverton High School, so like.
Oh, got you. Beavers in your blood.
Yeah, look, man. And anybody who tells you they were a Duck fan from 98 to 2003 is full of shit. Unless your dad or mom went there. No, you weren't. You all had orange and black on. We saw you. Stop it. Stop pretending.
I always say I went to Oregon State largely because it was cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, I didn't have a parent went to college. Whoever was the best in the state was like, Beavers are Fiesta Bowl Beavs. Like, hell yeah, let's go Beavs. Ducks the next year, Fiesta Bowl Ducks. Hell yeah, Ducks kill the Buffaloes. Like, it didn't matter to me. I had no real allegiance. I just wanted the state to be represented. That's all I cared about.
Weirdo.
I know I was a weirdo.
Oh no, it's a real thing that I've seen people do, and I never in a million years would be like, yeah, UCLA, or yeah, Stanford, or yeah, Cal. I'd rather wash my mouth out with a revolver.
Isn't California a little different than the state of Oregon, though? And, like, I had no friends who had, like, real allegiances to either. Like, I had a friend whose parents went to Minnesota. Like, I had nobody in my life.
That's it.
Had, like...
It's a random school.
It is a very random school. But, like, that's what I was around. And so it was never like, oh, the Ducks way more than the Bees, or the Bees way more than Ducks. And I went to Oregon State, obviously, and it changed things. But...
turns out.
Yeah, man.
Are you going down?
Mm-mm. I toyed with it. I thought about it.
In case of bloodbath.
I mean, there is always that. Yeah, look, Oregon State being what they are right now and what Oregon has been talent composite-wise, like there's always that possibility. It's not a beat-down reason. It's the reason I'm leaving the pod, Danny. I have a soccer game on Saturday. Like, we will be
followed by a track meet, followed by a basketball game, followed by a hike.
Yes.
You want to talk any more Blazers? Anything you want?
There's really not much Blazers I think to get into at this point, I just want to what I would say is like how fun this has been, and then also like how unfortunate the team being this crappy while we did this has been.
Yeah.
Like we missed the LaMarcus Dame, Batum, Rolo run because we weren't doing a pod at that point. And then we just missed the Clipper, Houston, or not Houston, but like the Dame, CJ, Denver,
OKC.
OKC.
I did it on TV, so like
I was talking about on the radio, so we just missed it together. And then like the minute we do this, it's like Terry Stotts is last year, and who's Chauncey Billups, and now everybody's being traded. And it's just there's
a strong likelihood from the time that we started the podcast until next season, the entire roster could be different.
You could really probably point this podcast and say, we didn't suck this bad until you guys made a podcast.
You're not wrong. Like
and that's a fair observation.
We are actually the reason why things
we
are
may
so
actually
bad.
I don't know where your level of like sadness is and all that stuff, and I'm sad, but like you actually might find this episode to be the greatest episode because we might be quite literally breaking the curse. And now we get baby Kobe, and now Scoot is Chris Paul, and Klingon's going to be a defensive player of the year.
You want to hold off for another year because we do want to capture the flag.
Well, I didn't say those things meant that they're good.
Oh, okay, like, right.
Hey, Scoot's really going to be good next year, and Shaden's taking a Kobe step, but they still can't win games yet. And Klingon is 8th in defensive player of the year voting. Like, it's a year off.
So there you go. But it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. It's been chaotic at times, to say the least.
Tell me about it, dude. First year, I did not know what I was getting into. That first year was crazy.
I don't think any of us did.
No.
As far as things went, and then we had a taste of it. But like I said, the show is not done. It will be more frequent and shorter duration, I would say. I'm never going to pull a Richmond and do 5 shows a day. The man's a lunatic. Or 5 shows a week. But it will probably be up to 3, sometimes 4. And there will be additional content to kind of back up the Patreon stuff that I'll be doing too. So you're going to get Marang overload. And it's what some of you sickos want. I don't know why. But it'll be a thing.
I'm looking forward to listening. I'm looking forward to bothering you on Twitter and making you like try to prove your point or argue against how you're wrong, right, whatever. I'm looking forward to being a troll in your life again.
I love it. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Help me grow the show now.
Yes.
And like I said, I don't have any plans for a co-host right now. That could change. And if that does change, we'll let you guys know, or I'll let you guys know. And like I said, Brandon will periodically, the door is always open for him.
Hell yeah.
Like I said, it's not anything like that. If he gets free time, which I wouldn't waste it on me if I were him, but if he does want to,
I'm a sicko.
Yeah, there you go. He can. The YouTube comments, of course it's going to be more frequent. You're a maniac because you said the rain's taken off.
Mom's left for the weekend. I'm free.
The Marang masochists. Yeah. Jacked on Blazers. I guess it's better than jacked off
Last thing
Blazers.
for me, real quick, Danny. Real quick, I know I said it already. I just want to say it one more time because it is of big importance for me. Thank you guys for listening and participating and tweeting and shouting it out in public. Like it's meant the world to me, man. And I hope I see some of you sickos at a game. I hope we still tweet at each other and stuff. And you know what? Let's like start the Danny's wrong ride together. This officially starts now. Danny is wrong, and we'll find things that he's wrong on, but we'll find them together.
Danny After Dark will happen more.
Yes.
So, but
just not the Shannon Sharp edition.
Well, didn't seem to hurt him today.
It hurt her.
Go to hell.
Did you hear those noises?
Yeah, I've heard them before.
Man, that was like a foreign language. I felt bad for that woman. Shannon Sharp is 6'4", dude.
I've got some stories. But no, in all seriousness, pivoting it out of that, thank you, man. This has been a blast doing this with you. You have helped balance me out. The comments say thank you for always balancing out Danny. And yeah, like you need a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down, and you're my spoonful of sugar.
Thank you. We will work together again. I know it. We're still coworkers of the Fan. We'll still talk.
So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Again, like, rate, review, subscribe, help us grow the show. Thank you guys. I don't really know what to say other than that. I'm terrible at this kind of stuff. So
me too.
We basically said we wanted to put a show together just real quick to like let everybody know what was happening. So it wasn't a surprise when one day Brandon wasn't here. But as we get closer here to the season, we will, like I said, we collectively will have a lot more. So I guess that's it.
That's it.
Look at that. Shortest show ever.
Hey, you're here a couple years, gone a couple years later. It's crazy.
So we appreciate you guys again. Thank you so very much. Take care. Talk soon. Oh, also I should say you can find us on social media at Danny Marang, at Brandon Sprague, at Jack Ramsays. Email the show, jackramsays@gmail.com, and we'll catch you here very soon. I will have some content up here, probably if not by the end of the week, then we will get right into it as we start getting ready for training. Well, as guys are already in town, getting ready for training camp. So take care, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Talk soon. Bye.